All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Viewing Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is to talk about Eagle Eye Transfer Rumour Show, where I talk everything Arsenal and rumours surrounding the club. First things first, let's talk about the lead story that I've decided to go with, and that is Shkodran Mustafi. Some Eagle Eye Arsenal. I mean, in today's day and age, you can always start a rumour by activity that you do on Instagram, whether it's following certain clubs, whether it's liking certain posts, or in this particular case, whether it's taking any reference of your current employment off your profile. And that's something that Shkodran Mustafi has done. Most Arsenal fans have spotted that he's taken any reference to Arsenal off his Instagram page. I think it's also keeping in mind that he also posted on Twitter yesterday talking about being back on top. So I think the belief and the hope and the prayer is that upon his return, he was told by presumably the Arsenal hierarchy, the coach, whoever, that he has no future with the club and that he should find other employment. It is also worth bearing in mind that Uber very recently did the same thing. I don't know why they do it to themselves, because they start the rumor when you do something like that. Just leave your profile alone. If you don't want rumors to start, leave your profiles alone. In Shkodran Mustafi's case, I speak for most, not everybody, but most people when I say we hope that this is true. We hope there is some sort of substance to these rumors. Keeping in mind, though, that the one club that were linked with Mustafi was Fenerbahce, and as I explained yesterday with regards to Ozil, Fenerbahce are skint. So much so, apparently there's talk that they can't even afford the loan fee it would take to get Mustafi over there. Never mind pay his wages and everything else. So, I don't know. Arsenal and the way they do transfer business, for all of the faults that people like, the Weasel had and the previous manager had, it still seems like we have a lot of these faults. I mean, flip me. I know this has nothing to do with Arsenal necessarily, but just stay with me here. I flipping saw a story maybe an hour ago that Aston fucking Villa are about to spend 27 million on Tyrone Mings. What? Tyrone Mings? Now, don't get me wrong. I think I mentioned Tyrone Mings in... oh, no, I didn't. I know. No. It wasn't even Tyrone Mings. It was something else. I thought I mentioned him in a Chiggy Knows Best video series, which if you haven't seen, definitely go check that out after you drop this video a like. But I didn't. First of all, I didn't even realize Tyrone Mings was 26 years old. Second of all, I didn't even know he was still at Bournemouth. But apparently, technically, he is, but he wasn't. So he was on loan at Aston Villa last season. Did really well by all accounts. And they've literally agreed to buy him for £27 million. When you follow that up with the fact that, what's his name? Perez, Io Perez, or Ioe Perez, or however you say his first name, went for £30 million. Meanwhile, you have someone like Callum Chambers, who was voted Fulham's Player of the Year last season, albeit, all right, granted, they did go down, so how good could he have possibly been? But still, they voted for someone who wasn't even their actual player as their Player of the Year. He is 24 years old, and I saw a quote the other day that he's going to be sold, that the sort of price Arsenal are asking for him is something like £13 million. I'm like, how does that even make sense? How does that make sense? How is everybody able to sell players and extract the maximum value for them apart from us? Why is this an issue for us only? Doesn't make any fucking sense. £27 million versus someone who was actually voted their player of the year, who's 2 years younger, and he's going for half the price almost. You look at things like that and you just shake your head like it's just this is the sort of shit that can only happen to my club. This is the only kind of crap that can happen at my club. Anyway, so we'll see. Whether Mustafi is just dick teasing fans or I don't know. I honestly don't know why players do it. Maybe he's testing the waters just to see if there's any interest, gauge if there's any interest. I think that this is important that we get rid of him for two reasons. First of all, I do think we just need to get rid of him generally. We need to just stop relying on him and thinking that eventually he'll improve. There is no level of improvement for Shkodran Mustafi. I'm sorry to break it to people. It's just not there. Secondly, I think we need to get him off the wages. And thirdly, and I think this is something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, but fuck it, I'll bring it up because it's me, you know me. I think you need to start rocking the world of a certain Mesut Ozil if you stand any chance of getting rid of him. And Mesut Ozil has his little crew, doesn't he? His little crew consists of Mustafi, El Nene, Kolasinac, and him. And quite honestly, I'd get rid of all of them, to be honest. So I think you got to start by getting rid of the fellow German. You get rid of him. And then you start working on, because apart from the fact that you could argue all of those players are surplus to requirements, Kolasinac, well, you'll see what I do with Kolasinac in the next coming days. But yeah, you can argue that all of them are surplus to requirements anyway. For me, I think it's important because then if you start to make him feel uncomfortable, so he sees his friends going, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he's going to start handing in a transfer request right away, people. But flip, let's start making this environment a little less comfortable for the guy. Because at the moment, he has absolutely no reason to leave. So start rocking his world and saving us some money. And dare I say, raise us some dough. But yeah, that for me is my kind of thoughts on Shkodran Mustafi. Moving on, Kieran Tierney. This transfer is just dragging on and on and on. And it's just in typical Arsenal fashion, just dithering, fannying about. So it looks like Napoli are really planning to step up their efforts to chase Kieran Tierney down. So much so, they're actually planning to sell one of their backup left backs just so they can make some space for Kieran Tierney. I just saw that story a second ago and now it's gone. But yeah, it looks as though we are trying to negotiate a fee. There was a thought process that last month from Arsenal that this deal would be done by now and should have been done for under the £20 million mark. They believe that Celtic are using the interest of Napoli to drive up the price closer to 25, which to me just sounds like absolute nonsense, given the fact that, I don't know about you guys, I'm pretty sure Celtic have said from day dot that all they want is 25 million for a 22-year-old that has a lot of potential. Seems about right to me for a left back. I don't even think it's particularly overpriced. It seems about right. This is the market that we're rolling in at the moment. And I just wish that we can just adjust and do what we have to do and secure the deal, man. Because I tell you what, if this is another nearly signing, Arsenal fans ain't going to be happy. They're not going to be happy. Because short of you, if after this, you lose out on Kieran Tierney, short of the Leicester left back, you're going to lose Arsenal fans. You know, and then a lot of Arsenal fans are trying their best to just wait and see. It's a new regime. This has nothing to do with Ivan. This has nothing to do with Arsene. This is all Stan now. It's all on him. But that's the thing. It's all on you now. So there is no more Arsene Wenger because people now have seen the truth that, oh, okay, it wasn't just us. Don't get it twisted. He played a part. But it wasn't just Arsene holding up these deals. It's just the fact that you motherfuckers don't want to give money. So we'll see. I'm trying to find that story about the left back that they're clearing out to make space for him. I just saw that damn story and I can't fucking find it. See, this is where normally I'd have paused the video, gone and found the story, and then come back to you. But if someone in the chat could let me know if they have, do you know what? Hold on, this is so unprofessional because I should have the story ready to go. Yes, okay, so found the fucking story again. Sorry about that. So unprofessional, I know. So it looks as though they are looking to sell. Yes, I accept. The left back, Mario Rui. He's Portuguese. Apparently, he's set to go for anywhere between 15 to 20 million pounds. Torino and Benfica are interested, and that is the player's preference to go to one of those two teams. And obviously, once he goes, they'll bring in Kieran Tierney because knowing Arsenal, they'll be still fanning around trying to work out how much they can get off a certain deal. So they're just giving the team what they want. In the case of Crystal Palace, I get it that you're trying to negotiate, you're trying to throw players in, and that 25 million ain't a big deal. Just slap the dough down and let's get the deal done. So they're messing around. But anyway, that's that story. Let's talk about the story that a lot of people went with today, and that's the fact that Arsenal have now turned their attention to Ryan Fraser after accepting defeat in moving for Wilfried Zaha. I ain't going to lie to you, I think this is smoke and mirrors, straight up. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because this is a lot of people's preferred choice. And I get it. He would be so much cheaper, arguably would produce more chances. And people don't understand why this weren't the move in the first place. I think this is smoke and mirrors. Personally, I think that this is an Arsenal way of trying to force Wilfried Zaha to force through the move. Don't be surprised if after hearing this story that's been widespread broken today, next week you'll hear another story that says Arsenal come back in with a third bid for Wilfried Zaha. So don't be surprised. But for me, I'd be all right with Ryan Fraser because when you look at the price versus the talent, to me, I think it's a no-brainer. I think we'll go for it. Why wouldn't you go for it? So yeah, those are my thoughts on Ryan Fraser. I think supposedly Arsenal are in for him. I think Arsenal will happily wait a season for Ryan Fraser if they are still serious about that. I think that pretty much covers all the stories today. I'm trying to see if there's any that I have left out. Guys, I'm going to pop into the chat room very, very briefly. I know Lee is not far from going live. So I'm just going to pop into the chat, just see what you guys are saying very shortly. I just want to see if there's any other stories that I have missed out on. And also Salah, but I'm sick of saying the same thing. Supposedly Arsenal have agreed to pay the 30 million euros that Saint Etienne was looking for. In this particular case, it was never an instance of money. It was more about the fact that Saint Etienne want him loaned back. And obviously us paying this much money for a player that we can't even use this year just seems ridiculous. But it seems like he's enough of a talent that Arsenal aren't prepared to do it. So let's see what happens. My worry with this is that if we do that, then either Koscielny or Mustafi will end up staying until next season, which, to be honest with you, I ship them both out, to be perfectly honest. But let's see what happens. Let me go into the chat, see what you guys are saying. Say a quick hello. Do give this video a like if you're enjoying it. 64 of you watching, 21 likes. Come on, guys. You guys, please do drive up those likes. I appreciate it whenever you guys do that. Thank you, VP. Appreciate it, brother. Much love. Let's go to the top of the comment section. Evening, Chig. Start the party, please. Dan Mack. Mings, wow. Will we ever win the Will we ever see Arsenal win the Champions League in our lifetime? If we get a different owner, yeah. Will Kieran Tierney and a right back? Will Arsenal sign Kieran Tierney and a right back, G? Who knows? See, my understanding is that this Vasquez guy that everybody's like really down on is someone who Emery can see playing as a right back, not necessarily as a right winger, which I wouldn't necessarily be against. He's a hard-working player, and that's what you want to see from your wing backs. So, yeah. He's about 6'5". Mustafi brings chaos to the team. 100% agree, Mr. Notcher. 100%. I'll admit I was wrong about Mustafi. I'd rather a centre-back pairing of Socrates and Holding once he gets back to full fitness. Yeah, or better yet, Holding and someone like a Lewis Dunk. Man, 6'5". Big fucker. Mustafi's just fetched a decent amount. Thank you, Rabadan. In theory. Welcome, Claude. I see you there. Thank you, mate. As Claude would say, it is time to go. Come on, get the likes up. Thank you, Ryan. Please do get them likes up. I appreciate when you guys do that. It sounds like you are roasting Kroenke's ass, chick. Yes, I am. Anytime, any place, anytime it needs to be roasted. Why are we still keeping shit from last season? Exactly. And I think Claude has hit the nail on the head here. I think for me, what I think is pissing people off more than anything isn't so much we're not buying anyone, although that's still on the agenda. It's the fact that we're not even shifting what is there. Shift what is there at least. I would prefer Fraser. Yeah, you're not alone, McManamus. You're not alone. Chig, Cesc left us the same way to go to Barca. His dad said it was his dream. Raul was there the entire time. Thank you, VP, for the donation, mate. The Duff, why would he leave where he's living in Arsenal on a great wage? Will play in the British Premier League most weeks. Sorry, mate. Only just joined you. FFP adjustment, or you already started talking about it? I've not. No. What's the news about FFP, Dante? Fill me in. If this is the case, good evening. Good evening, Majib. Mikey knows numbers straight off the bat. Which I try to. I want to see Bielik or Chambers at least on the bench, rather than 15 million we would sell them for. Well, it depends, because if that 15 million is able to get us better, then I would rather that, to be fair, Dan, man. And I'm a big Chambers fan. People know this. But ultimately, I'd sell him if it means that we're going to get something better. Pray, chick, that Mustafi goes. Every day, VP. Thank you for the donation, mate. Mustafi has been helped by the lazy bastards in midfield not tracking back. Makes me feel sick how people forget that it's not just Mustafi who played like shit last year. Mr. Lewis, don't get it twisted. You clearly ain't watched my show for very long. I've been getting at Granit Xhaka. I've even been getting at Torreira at times. I've been getting at Guendouzi when he's played. I think Guendouzi's played too much, actually. I do think the kid needs to be protected a little bit more. Believe me when I say it's not just Mustafi. No. But we are talking about people who need to be shipped out. And Mustafi was the story at hand. And that is why I'm concentrating on him. Because he is one of many problems, but he's still one of those problems. Just to clarify. Nobody wants our shit players. That's what it boils down to. The idea that Tyrone Mings is more appealing than any Arsenal player is just unbelievable to me. And the fact that Aston Villa had £27 million to spend and we don't have anything is just, we can't even get a £25 million deal over the line, just bamboozles me. At the very least, aren't we supposed to have Europa League money? What the heck is going on here? I just want the board positions for the club. Nimsy, remember our bottle job squad running in the Europa League final? Shocking it's not been shaken up already. Exactly. Dante, it's not 7 million a year limit anymore. Teams don't have to build gradually, from what I gather. West Ham bidding 45 million for a player too. It's just depressing. Do you think the rumor of Sevilla interested in Mickey is true? I don't know, Docs. I've not reported on that story yet because I've not verified the source of where it's come from. But I did see that story floating around on Twitter earlier today. VP, the Henny Fund. Thank you. Anytime you want to donate to the Henny Fund, it's more than welcome. Chambers is shit. I think he's useful, Majid. I think he's useful. I disagree. I don't think he's anywhere close to as bad as people make out. But I would sell him if it meant getting better, as I always keep saying. Do you think Norwich or Villa will stay up? I do like Norwich, you know, they're a hard-working team. And Norwich have this habit of sticking around at least one season before they go down. I'm going to pick Norwich. Where's all the money gone, chick? Good question, Mr. Delaney. Good question. Jad Gas. Will we get Tyranny deal over the line? I'm starting to worry, Chad. I must admit. I'm not sure. I'm starting to be a little concerned. Chick, would you be worried if there's no signing on this tour? I'd be worried if there's no rumor of at least one signing even imminently coming. For example, if we're in this position by Thursday, yes, I will be worried. I will be worried. And I heard Lee say the same thing. So if even Lee's worried, so will I. Chambers was Fulham's player of the year. Yeah, I know. I just said that. So we are a week away from going on tour. Deadwood's still at the club. No significant progress on signings. 5 weeks of the window left. Yep. That is pretty much Arsenal, Majid. Love the program. Thank you, Dave Keith. Appreciate it. I hope you've subscribed. Which says a lot to all of you guys as well. If this is the first time you're watching, hit that subscribe button. Please continue to drive up those likes. It's a goddamn calm. I ain't putting any money until I see significant improvement. Same with all those I know. That's why obsessed with the foreign supporters and corporate fuckers. I don't like the Chambers and Holding bromance. Holding loses focus. Listen, there ain't no problem with them being friends as long as they're on job when it matters. So yeah, I don't think their friendship is a detriment to their development or progress. They just need to be better. That's all. They need to be better. Meanwhile, our fans are buying new shirts, bitching about the lack of transfers. The club has been sold out by former shareholders. It will never change. Concrete has a firm grip. Lee's on live now. All right, guys, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Thoughts on the strategy to improve Arsenal and see the change at the club? Non-existent at the moment, Adam. Non-existent. I need to see something happen. I'm not going to completely go nuts just yet. I've always said I'd give them to the end of the transfer window and see what happens. But I'm not going to lie, I'm not seeing much of a fucking difference between now and the last regime that people put so much blame on. People put so much blame on the Weasel and the previous manager. But I'm not seeing a lot of difference yet. I'm not seeing much difference, if anything. Good afternoon, Chig. Mustafi better be leaving. There's no significant signings by Friday. I guess no idiot laugh at Turkish after all. Loving the show. Thank you, Stephen. One of my oldest listeners there. Thank you, brother. 10 rules. Good evening. What up, brother? Mr. Franklin is in the house. When has Mustafi ever been on top? Listen, he's had a couple of 8 out of 10s. Kroenke out, David Dean back. But anyone, doesn't even need to be David Dean, anyone that's capable of doing the show. Chig, do you find it weird that the media only know Arsenal's budget and no one else? No one? Oh, no, because they like triggering Arsenal fans, Mike. That's the reason. They like triggering Arsenal fans. All right, 4 more minutes and I'm out. Thank you, brother. Overtime fun for real. Yes, Chig, tuning in from New York. Keep up the great content. Thank you, Rob. Much appreciated. Thank you, brother. Do give it a like. Do give it a subscribe if you haven't already. Proves that the owner was never the manager. Proves the owner was never the manager. Do you think Emre will last the 3rd season? Good question, Darts. Good question. I would suggest if he doesn't make the Champions League, it's almost impossible. Because the owner will try and make it look like he's doing something by sacrificing Emre. That's what I've always said. I feel like Emre's the fall guy. I honestly do. And especially with Allegri out there as well. It's just an opportunity to get someone in. David Dean has sold Kroenke, was sold to Kroenke in the first place. Well, that's the thing. For all those people bitching about Kroenke and wanting David Dean back, David Dean was the one that brought Kroenke in. People forget that. Emre will be out if not in the top 4. True, true. David Dean back, Musanov, not Kroenke. All right, guys. One more question and I'm out. Make sure you do give this a like. Do hit that subscribe. Go to Lee's channel. I believe he's currently live now doing a Q&A. Let him know that Chig sent you, and I'll appreciate it. And he'll appreciate it too. So, one more question, I'm out. With all these fans becoming critical of the team, knowing who we're buying and who we're selling, I thought that was an actual question. Come on, Steve-O. I think everyone is surprised by the end of the window. Arsenal realists got everyone shooting loads pre-Emre's the right man. Benching Ozil is a sign of strength. Yep, selling Ozil would be a better sign of strength, Rabadam. Thank you for the donation, though. We need that Nigerian business to go to. We need anyone, Majid. Anyone. Just get Edu signed so we can. Well, see, this is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it's because they're waiting for Edu to actually sign off on some of their targets. I don't know. I'm at a loss as to what is going on. I really am. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I know it's a brief one today. It always was going to be. Please do remember to hit that like button. I know I always bang on about it, but please do. Hit the subscribe button. Go over to Lee. He's currently live now doing a Q&A. You know he usually loves his little Q&A, so make sure you let him know that Chig sent you, and I'm sure he'll appreciate it and love that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Enjoy your Sunday evening. I'll be back tomorrow. Take care. Peace.